Hey guys, so we're hanging out,
Waiting for one of our
one of our guests.
guests to join in. They haven't yet, so we're going to give them a little bit of time, but figured Melissa and I can kind of fill in the short term, maybe. Maybe.
So we talked to a lot of guests, and we haven't really kind of just chatted about ourselves and kind of.
I feel weird talking about myself, to be honest with you.
That's true.
I mean, anybody that knows me, I mean, man, if you're in jiu-jitsu, I will talk your ear off. If you're outside of jiu-jitsu, I'm not. I'm a little bit of an introvert. I'm the guy that would be more than happy to sit, enjoy watching other people do things. I'm not a super sociable person. I don't. It's not that I'm against other people. There's times where some people could take me as standoffish. Some people, unfortunately, they might read me a little bit wrong. I have a mean face.
So scary.
I have a mean face, and to be honest, I do not enjoy my smile. So I do not go out of my way to do something that I don't like about myself. So smiling is one of those things. If I am smiling, I'm legitimately having a good time and I'm not thinking about it. But, if it just comes down to it, I guess stoic would be, or I guess resting bitch face, as some people might refer to it, or the like. Tends to be more just the way I am in general public. So again, if you do see me and I'm smiling, it's pretty legit. I'm having a good time to the point where I'm not concerned about public perception, things of that nature. But I don't tend to smile on my own, especially in pictures, things of that nature. I'm not a fan of my own smile, so don't take that negatively. It's not a slight against you. It's a personal thing. I don't like my smile. To me, in a posed picture, to me appears fake. My natural smile is something I cannot replicate on its own. So in those applications, like I said, if my smile is there, it's genuine, it's real. And if it's not, then, that's just me.
So me and Dave, we met when I was 14, really, was when we met. I was 14, you were 15.
Careful now.
We started dating when I was 15, he was 16. So we are high school sweethearts. Yes, we have beat the stereotypical relationship thing.
Imagine how difficult that was for an introvert, to ultimately, hook up with a mega hottie. So
luckily, I'm an extrovert, and
luckily,
I don't have a problem talking to people. So you had no hope.
How weird was it though? I mean, you're trying to get my attention, and I'm doing like almost everything possible to not. Yeah. Playing hard to get, I guess.
That's all right. I'm stubborn. So.
Which for those that don't know, when Melissa and I first started going out, Melissa was bigger than me.
I was.
She was stronger than me.
I was.
She could beat me arm wrestling.
Absolutely.
And it's not a I think she could beat me arm wrestling. I think we actually did test that theory out
a couple times
when we were younger.
Yes.
And
it was a sad day when you could beat me.
And she could and she could beat me arm wrestling.
Yes. So Dave had a massive growth spurt his first year of college.
Yeah, just after high school.
So we were 1 year apart. So I was still in high school. He was in college. So we lived way the hell up in no man's land, basically, up in the mountains in California, above Stockton.
Well, we live physically about an hour away from each other.
But we went to the same high school. So there were only 2 high schools in the entire county, in Calaveras County.
Yeah, Calaveras County.
We went to Calaveras High School together. That's how we met.
Home of Jake Shields.
Yeah.
Home of Vernon White.
Yep.
And just up the road was the only other high school in the county. They were the only city high school. Bret Hart.
Yep.
Home of T.J. Dillashaw.
The a lot of MMA history up where we resided. So yeah, we lived about an hour apart. It was about a half hour for me to the high school, about a half hour for him to the high school.
I was on the west side. She was on the east side.
I was up the mountain.
I was down the mountain.
He was in the hills.
And we would meet at the high school in the middle.
Yep. And so when he graduated, he went to Delta College, which was down in Stockton, which is another 45 minutes down the other direction from his house.
Still in the 209 though.
Yeah.
Still 209.
Yeah, still 209. And he would drive up every day after I got off of school to pick me up and drive me home. So he was putting a lot of miles on just to hang out with me.
And during this time period, when I hit my growth spurt, some of Melissa's friends that hadn't seen me in a while did not know it was me.
Yes.
So I would go to pick up Melissa, and again, she was taller than me, bigger than me, stronger than me. And now I'm taller than Melissa, bigger than Melissa, hell of a lot stronger than Melissa. You know, just case in point, we tested it again, and Melissa couldn't beat me with 2 arms.
Yes.
In that arm wrestling match.
Like I said, it was a sad day.
Yeah, it was a sad day.
Balance of power shifted.
Yeah, I think it was my I think it was my celebration after winning.
Yeah, that was pretty, yeah.
But
unnecessary.
But her friends gave Melissa kind of the
they're like, who's
the crazy dude? Eye. Yeah, like
where's Dave? Because we'd already been dating for 2 years. And
gave Melissa the I thought you were going out with Dave.
I'm like, that is Dave. They're like, nah. But yeah, so we got engaged my senior year of high school. My dad was not super pleased with that whole thing, but he thought we were going to like get married right away.
But when we got engaged, we told everybody we were engaged. This would be 1990 when we got engaged. And we told everybody the wedding date was 1994.
Correct.
So long engagement, but we called our shot and stuck to it.
And then, we had a Renaissance theme wedding, which was cool. Mm-hmm. So everybody dressed in costume.
And at this point in time, I was already, prior to Melissa and I getting together, I was already doing Taekwondo at the local martial arts school, which really wasn't a martial arts school. It was a general purpose room at one of the local churches. And the pastor, Mr. Vernon Mayhall, was a black belt in Taekwondo and was doing a community program and teaching Taekwondo out of the church. So that was my introduction. Started with Mr. Mayhall in roughly 1978, 1979, maybe if we push the date, maybe at the latest, 1980. That would be maybe at the latest. But I started with him, and I trained pretty much with Mr. Mayhall all the way up through graduation, doing all that stuff. And then, sorry, we're getting a text message. But yeah, did Taekwondo, actually did Taekwondo with Vernon Mayhall, Vernon Mayhall, and the notables in that school was Vernon White was training Taekwondo in that class as well. Vernon and I were in the same graduating class at Calaveras. We were friends in the Taekwondo class and the like. I was also friends with his sister. And so ultimately speaking, that was my introduction to martial arts. I hadn't done any martial art prior to that. So Taekwondo, to be honest, I wanted to learn sword. I wanted to learn either, I wanted to learn like Aido or Kendo or something of that nature. But in 1978, in the middle of nowhere, good luck. You weren't going to find it. So I was already deeply passionate about martial arts when I met Melissa. So unfortunately, I think she already knew that this baggage came with me, that this was my mistress. I could have a relationship with her, but there would always be a woman on the side, and her name would be martial arts.
Yeah, he talked me into doing Taekwondo. I think I started, it was after we got out of high school. Because during high school, I was heavy into swimming competitively, and that pretty much consumed all my time other than hanging out with Dave.
Well,
So
Melissa was, we both swam. That's one of the, where we both kind of met. And Melissa was far more competitive than I was. So it kind of gives you an idea of like even where we're at now. Her competitive drive, her desire for winning, which
I
kind
love
of,
winning.
it makes,
It makes me happy.
it makes more sense now why you were so butthurt when you lost the arm wrestling
Yes.
match. So,
This is bullshit.
so, but I mean, Melissa had Olympic aspirations
Yes.
to go to that level. Unfortunately, didn't quite pan out, to that level, but she sure as heck gave it a shot. So, but more than likely, I probably was a distraction to that push, to that drive.
I'm happy with my choices.
But we both swam together, and like I said, that's how we met. And
yeah, he talked me into Taekwondo. I think I was about 19 when I started Taekwondo.
maybe that would be after high school. Yeah.
It was after high school. Yeah, it was when we were in college. We had moved down to Stockton to go to college together, and we were still heading up there to do Taekwondo classes.
Actually, your first introduction was when we got to the college. There was a self-defense class.
Self-defense class.
There was a self-defense class that the college was offering.
Yes.
I made you take it.
Yes.
I made you take it. And then I also took the class with Melissa, but deliberately did not say anything because it was a Aikido based.
Yes.
I dabbled in Aikido, but never really trained in it. So I didn't really think, just being a student in that class, I didn't think it was going to be really beneficial to go in there and just kind of, tell them all the stuff I dabbled in and trained in and things of that nature. I was there to.
We don't want to be one of those guys. Like,
Yeah.
Man, I've been training for years. I gotta.
Right. So I just kind of sat back and just did their program. But that was really kind of one of those things. We were in Stockton. We moved to Stockton, so we were physically living in an apartment.
And it was not a good town back then either.
To us, it was an amazing town.
Well, it was amazing at the time, but it was still sketchy.
At the time period, that was us getting out of the house.
Yeah.
Having we were in separate apartments at the time period. I had a roommate, she had a roommate. We were in separate apartments, but that was our first time. And Stockton was still the city to us.
Yes.
I mean, Stockton was the city. I mean, it had a mall. It had things of that nature. The nightlife was in Stockton. You didn't go to Lodi to go have fun. You went to Stockton to go have fun. If you wanted to go do something, I mean, I don't want to diss Lodi, but at the time period when we were high school and early college, I mean, Stockton was like going to a friend's house, and
Lodi's where the rich people lived.
And Lodi was like going to your grandparents.
Yes, true.
I mean.
And then so fast forward, we got pregnant with Christian shortly after our wedding.
You got pregnant.
Well, I got pregnant with Christian, but no, I mean it was a team effort.
I didn't get pregnant.
It was a team effort.
I didn't get pregnant.
But and we decided at that point, because we'd had some run-ins in Stockton with David had been shot at. I had
knives pulled on me, shot at.
Barely missed being in a Taco Bell when it got drive-by shot up.
Yep. We witnessed the drive-by at Taco Bell.
Got our truck stolen, garage busted into, multiple cars busted into.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
So when we found out we were pregnant, we're like, yeah, we're not gonna have a kid here. It's not happening.
So one of my life's goals was law enforcement. So when we got to college, my first year was by myself. Most of my friends went military. I was still trying to go law enforcement. And I got accepted. So that was 89, 90 when I did my first year. And I got accepted to the police academy in 90. So when Melissa came down to Stockton in that time period in there, I was entering the police academy in October of 1990.
Yeah.
So we were doing a lot of stuff. We were doing college. I was carrying a full course load in college, attending the police academy for, I think the police academy was 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
I was doing the police academy plus weekends, because I was doing 4-hour sessions during the day or evenings, and then it was periodically doing 16 hours on the weekends. So some weeks were even greater than that. Which then that was in like I said, October 1990. I graduated in 91 from the police academy, and that became my first taste of grappling. I never wrestled in high school or things of that nature. I had some friends that did, but the police academy was my first taste of doing some actual grappling. We didn't do jiu-jitsu or anything of that nature, but that was my first taste of takedowns, and then ultimately going into some pain compliance for like arresting techniques and things of that nature. And I thought that was a blast. Keep going.
So when we decided to move from Stockton back home, basically, we had everything in a storage unit, and including our gis from Taekwondo. And Dave had decided he wanted to go back. So we're traveling through Lodi one day, and we see this karate studio, and he's like, hey, I want to stop by and pick up a gi. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So he pops in, I stay out in the car, and he goes in and goes to buy a gi, and he's in there for a really, really long time. And he comes out, and he's like, oh my God, I have to train here. I'm like, all right, well, what style do they do? He's like, I don't know. I just, the way they're talking about the instructor and the family and the gym and what I saw, I have to train here. And I'm like, all right. So he had gone in, and this was Sensei Eric's original gym, I want to say, on Kettleman Lane.
So he was thinking it's at one.
Oh, gotcha.
Unfortunately, we're as is the name of our book. It's complicated. So I'm currently still working my day job and with my radio voice, and so I'm actually technically on lunch break right now doing this. So trying to see how we might be able to set this up.
Yes. So bear with us real quick here. We are setting up another podcast while we're doing this one. We could do tomorrow at noon, or we could do Thursday. We're full open.
Right.
So tomorrow at noon or Thursday, wide open.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him.
Or Friday.
Can you dial in now?
So anyways, he had been in there, and that was he had seen some guys in there kind of grappling around. Well, you can tell the rest of the story while we're.
No, at that point they weren't even really grappling around. When I walked in, and all right, so he's going to be dialing in. We'll probably edit this little portion out. I don't think, we may save that for another day.
Maybe we can break it up.
We're just killing time. Killing time.
Here we go.
Okay, what's the link? Send it to me so I send it to him. Send it.
Sending it right now.
Do it. Is that a clickable link?
Yes.
All right.
That's why I'm sending that to you.
Yeah, he thought it was at 1.
That's okay. Got this. Just remind me when I got to edit this too, that there's a break I need to make. But we can put it into 2 different podcasts. Easy enough. Yeah, he should be able to click right on it, and it should take him right in. But yeah.
That's okay. Gives me time to figure out how I want to retell our arm wrestling match.
Oh, we're saving that shit. There we go.
Do it. Do it.
Admit.
Bring him in.
I am. I'm admitting him right now, and then I need to video.
Oh my gosh, guys, this was terrible.
No worries.
that
No
was
worries.
Sorry, I thought it was 1 o'clock. I am
Oh,
here.
good.
I'm here waiting for you guys. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no issue.
Oh man, I'm so embarrassed about that.
Oh.
I'm just here waiting. I'm seriously waiting here. Oh,
No
I'm
worries.
so sorry.
It's all good. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. Listen, let me try to get this on my computer. It's got
Okay.
a little bit better. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Hold up.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries.
Guys, seriously, that was David. That was terrible. That was really a misunderstanding here. I'm
Oh,
here
no
waiting,
problem.
you know, and I think it was 1 o'clock thing, and I was just I'm here. Oh man, I'm so sorry, guys. Listen, if you don't mind, can you give me the meeting ID, because I would just it would be easier for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
If you can say it, I'll be easier
I'll
because
jump right
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Unless our listeners are
No,
they
it's fine.
get the ID and then they get
It's
to.
a, no, it's a,
they get
it's
to
a, it's a
hijack
one-time
us.
ID. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. All right, you ready? It's
Yeah.
8845
45
07
07
97
97
942.
942. Okay. Guys, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh,
don't
no
worry
issues
about it.
at all.
It really was a schedule thing. I was,
No,
because
no problem.
I'm pissed off with this because there's so many of those, this lives going on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was not the first time. Actually, last week, I got there in one. I was really actually, say, man, what's happened? What happened to you? And he actually, man, it's 1 hour ahead. There was a lot.
Yep.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
work.
why whenever I know that they're not Florida, I'm always like, all right, Eastern time.
Yep.
There we go.
There you go.
Video, there we go.
Guys, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, that's way
much better
better.
now.
Much better.
No, I cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't hear us.
It takes a second.
Can you hear us now? How about now? How about now?
What's the speaker volume?
Can you hear Dave?
I
I know
can
you
hear
guys
you.
can hear me. I cannot hear
We
you.
can hear you.
We can hear you. It's weird. We're not on mute.
No, microphone looks good.
Yeah, that's weird.
Here, let's do
Is your
this.
sound up?
So if
Can
we
you
do-
hear us now? Can you hear us now?
All right, so
No,
that's
that
not
didn't
it. Oop. So now let's check.
Let's see.
If you guys wanted me to go back to the other one, I can do that too.
We may have to, because if you can't hear us,
Are your unfortunately here? I gotta.
unmute all.
Yep.
You can still hear us, right? Can you hear us? No? Well, dang. There's no other.
Yeah.
Can you hear us now? Now, can you hear us?
That's crazy.
All right. Just tap it.
Oh, okay. Tap.
There you go.
Dave.
Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah. You hear me? Can you speak
Yeah.
something? There you go.
So speaker volume and everything is up.
Do you think it's something on your side?
I don't know, because you can hear us before, right?
I could hear it before, but I could hear before here. Not on my computer. Hold on for a second. Maybe it's my computer there's not on the setup.
Yeah, because I looked at all our settings. I think it's all the way it's supposed to be.
That's what I was just wondering.
Oh, there you go, guys. Something.
All right.
Ah,
Right.
hey. We'll get it eventually.
We get it. Yeah, we just keep
Right.
bumping into things. Let's go. Let's break through.
So
sorry, man.
on a completely side note, when the quarantine began, if we're calling it the quarantine, I shaved my beard and my head completely on that day, and I think my beard was right equal with yours where it is now when I shaved last night.
This
So,
is a real quarantine beard, guys.
Yes.
Look at this. Look at that. Actually, I actually trimmed down last week.
Okay.
I bought the clippers, and my wife cut my hair. And it was the first time she was doing, actually the second time. And I decided that I'm not spending money in barbers anymore.
Yeah.
So I got my barber here, you know, and she's up to the task.
There you
That's
go.
it.
Well, with mine, I'm trying to remember exactly what year it was. This is a long time ago. It's probably late 90s.
Uh-huh.
I was doing a grappling match with a training partner that I thought we were friends. I thought we were, you know, good training partners and everything else. And I was playing guard, and he was getting frustrated, and he reached out, grabbed 2 handfuls of my hair, and picked me up off the ground from just my hair.
You had long hair at the time? Did
I had longer hair. I was just fresh out of the police academy in California. So, but I had a more professional hairstyle, you know, a little bit longer. Sorry. And he picked me up. So I bought clippers that weekend, and I've been wearing it short ever since. You know, it was.
you know that?
My
Go ahead.
reaction to being picked up was kind of like the reaction for a lot of people in jiu-jitsu. You look at it one of 2 ways. I said, I don't ever want that to happen to me again. I don't want to be controlled by my hair. And so, yeah, I just got clippers, cut it all off. And
Do you believe
been that way ever
that
since.
when we were young, that was one of the things? You had the hair
Yep.
shaved to avoid people to grabbing in it. And I remember Hoist Grace, I guess, Kimbo.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, not Kimbo. Chemo Alexander. I think that's what his name. The guy who walked with the cross. I know you know. Hoist grabbing by the ponytail.
Yes.
You remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Put him down and put in a triangle, or it was insane. It was a ponytail who kept him in place.
Yeah. Well, there was an old event. I think it was called like World Combat or something like that. They called their cage the Circle of Truth, and they broke it into divisions. They did grapplers on one side, strikers on the other, and then they were going to do at the end versus best grappler for the finals. Silliest rules like ever, because the strikers could only win by striking, but the grapplers could do anything. And in that particular event, Eric Paulson had long hair, and he went onto the striker side of the bracket, and he had his long hair, and he put his hair into like a French braid or something like that. And I remember watching it. The guy he went up against literally put his fingers inside Eric Paulson's braid and then grabbed onto it and pinned his head down. And
let me ask you this. I think it was Matt Hume. It was a skinnier guy. I think I watched this. You know, Matt Hume competed.
Well, there's been a couple of these events, and yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I think a lot of the group today, I mean, they don't realize the origins of like MMA and the like. I mean, it was different. The type of grappling, the type of striking, especially if at the ground, it was a different animal. There was a lot more things to worry about, you know, when you got that, you know, headbutts.
Yep, elbows and headbutts,
hair pulling. Yeah, I mean, it was a different weapons you had to worry about.
Things changed a lot, though. That was Vale-Tudo. That wasn't even MMA.
Yes,
Yeah.
MMA, I don't think was even a name yet.
Nope.
For the for
There was Vale-Tudo, and the Vale-Tudo jumped to the no holds barred. Remember?
Yes. Yep.
And after that, went to the MMA.
Yep.
And MMA is what it is today. Completely different rule set. Everything is pretty pretty much. You know, pretty different on it.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing, guys? Tell me.
Well, we're happy we get to open today.
Yeah, we're excited.
Oh yes, that's
So,
it. I'm
Yeah,
in university. Go
Not
ahead.
the same, but we at least get to open. We at least get to run some classes today, so
Right.
that's pretty exciting.
How many kids? How many kids? How many people are coming back?
I don't know. I don't know yet. We're expecting probably about 50%. You know, I'm sure there's some people who aren't ready yet to come
Right.
back, and that's okay. So I mean, we'll see. We'll know after tonight. We've kind of put it out there and said, all right, come on in. These are the new rules.
Yeah,
No,
but can you have the class full like you used to be before or not?
No, and I don't think we're going to. I'm not worried about having to turn people away. I think this first week, it's going to be pretty small.
yeah.
And we have 2 rooms too, so we can run 2 classes at the same time and still keep people kind of separate and stuff. So I'm not too worried. Like today we have a kids striking class. That's easy enough to keep everybody distanced. And then we have a lot of couples that train here too. A lot of like
a lot of siblings.
a lot of couples and siblings and father sons and stuff like that. So we've told them that if they want to come with somebody they live with, then they can roll with that person. You know, they can drill and roll with that person. So I think we'll probably the adults we might get a decent turnout for. I think the kids classes will probably still be pretty small.
Guys,
So
go ahead.
Yeah, our intention right now is to run it just the way we were. We're going to continue doing our online Zoom classes
At the
and
same
the like.
time.
The only difference now is that Zoom class will be able to physically have people in the building while we're doing it.
Right.
Dave, how was the Zoom classes work for you guys? It went well?
It was okay.
It was okay. We didn't get great turnouts for it. We had like some consistent, mostly it was couples because they could drill together.
Right.
We had one guy that worked on a dummy during our Zooms, and a couple kids, but it wasn't like huge by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just as much harder, right, guys?
It is.
You have to, but you have a big advantage because there's a lot of jiu-jitsu clubs or schools that don't have any other martial arts involved. You guys have MMA involved. If you have
Correct.
MMA involved, we can throw the strikes there. That's
Yeah, we have the MMA and the kickboxing, which we can easily do that without touching anybody.
Right.
yeah. But there's a lot of schools, there's a lot of gyms that actually profit on Zoom. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
There's a lot of them. Not in jiu-jitsu,
No.
not in jiu-jitsu, but in the traditional martial arts.
Oh, yeah, they got
a
new
lot of those
students
guys
and-
were really actually doing well.
Yeah, some of them were
Yep.
adding new students, and even like distance students, like students from out of
Correct.
state and stuff were hopping on.
Yeah, that was
Some
one
of
of the
those.
big ones is that because I know, I mean, I'm friends with a lot of different people around the U.S.
No.
and and some of them have some really big academies. I mean, some of them are very well known, within the jiu-jitsu and martial arts circles, and so they have a name that once they start putting it out there, that I mean they gained a lot of different online students.
Yeah, because now you're tapping the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're tapping the world. You're going over the world. I have a one good friend. They're really the largest martial arts school in single school. Let's say one school.
Right.
They have 780 students.
Ooh, that's a lot.
and Sunnyvale Martial Arts. Sunnyvale Martial Arts there in the heart of Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Imagine that. That was incredible. And they say they gained students, people from India, people from China. It's crazy. It's
Wow.
crazy. No. But it's much easier, right? They have the systems from the katas and all the forms and everything else. You don't lose much. For us is we have this contact. We have this thing that it's gonna be hard. I mean it's gonna be harder. It's not that people are going to abandon that. People wants to work out because this is way more a therapy than anything else, guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to get out of the house and go to a place that they can get again with the friends. And this is all about a community. You guys know how it is,
Oh, yeah,
It
for
is
sure.
different. It's different.
Well,
I don't know if we started already. We're just talking. But you guys tell me. You guys tell me what to do, how you want to do this. We're already doing it,
Yeah,
right?
we're already doing it. That's it.
We're already
Just like to have a conversation and go from there.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's natural. It's going natural.
We try not to have an agenda with this kind of stuff. One, for us, I mean, this kind of stuff has been on our back burner for a while. We wanted to do something like this, but then, like you talked about, the community, the ability of what we do, you know, putting out videos for our students was great, but even just being able to do like we're doing now, have a conversation,
Yep.
you know, is such an important part of any of this stuff. And so, I mean, even though we can't physically roll with people, we can't physically have that contact with them, just being able to at least talk with them,
Yep.
I think was a major difference between just posting videos and at least doing Zoom. Is in some of those, it was awkward. I mean, they'd have a dummy, maybe they move around on it for a little bit, but I mean, that only goes so far.
I believe that too.
Yeah, so a lot of those Zoom things just kind of turned into us just kind of talking a little bit.
And you were teaching at the college when this all went down still, right?
I did. So what happened right now is the college just coming back, guys, for the next semester. So this is going to be September, you know, August, end of August, September. So it's not going to open up for us because everything, they resume all the face-to-face classes. Everybody now is online.
Yes.
So UCF is not going to open. So I'm here, you know, I'm here. I don't know if I'm going to have to travel soon or not. I'll find out in a couple weeks if I have to travel. But it was a struggle for everybody, guys. It was a struggle for everybody. I know that you guys are into it.
Is UCF going to open up for the fall classes, or you don't know yet?
No, it's not gonna open fall probably. Not gonna open for summer.
Right.
So summer is gonna be online, everything online. Guys? Reality is this: nobody knows.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. We are pushing this thing here back again and back again because you don't know if they're gonna open up like they're doing right now, and there is a spike, right, and a curve again. What do you do?
Yeah.
You know. We really don't know. I don't think nobody knows. I don't think the government knows. Nobody really knows about that. But everybody knows that, you know, you cannot just stay home. You have to do something. I'm more worried, honestly, seriously, that this craziness came in a certain way. And Dave, you can relate a little bit more because you were a law enforcement, right? So
I never got a chance to actually work in law enforcement, but that was, you know, that was where everything was headed. Unfortunately, my life took a slight turn in about 1993, somewhere in there, you know, because while I was in the police academy, which again, that was my life's goal, the whole Rodney King, South Compton riots and all that stuff happened in California. And it really made me question if that was the real direction I wanted to go, you know, in my life. And then martial arts became a much bigger portion of what we were doing. So yeah, it's one of those, that was my life's dream and goal. But yeah, sadly, I never actually got to work as an officer.
He was making more money not getting shot at and having a nice
yes, and probably that's what I was going to say. That was probably one good option.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say is, if you're a law enforcement nowadays, guys, you're law enforcement, military, or in a professional athlete, you understand everything we do. The guys who got law enforcement as work, military, you know, security, any type of field that you actually have this connect and a direct contact with the possibility that it's life and death situation, you understand exactly what we do as a martial artist. Right. Exactly. But the guy who doesn't, the regular guy who does not do martial arts, and this thing hit, I guarantee you, a lot of people started thinking, man, what's going to happen now? And if the economy really shut down and violence has started pumping up, you know, what I'm doing here, should I buy a gun? I wish I have done martial arts. You have no idea how many people that I talk to, people inside the university that call me, people that have never done martial arts before, ever. And they say, man, I never thought that martial arts would be a tremendous tool in a situation that it for real. If this thing goes down and the economy goes down, it's a domino effect, you know.
Yeah.
And you have shortage of supplies, any type of supplies, and like you said, people are fighting over toilet paper. You know,
Yeah.
imagine if it's over food. Imagine if they're regulating everything right now, even meat. You know, even meat.
Yeah.
Meat. We're going to the BJ's, we buy things on BJ's, and Davey, my wife has to get in a line and just get one package,
Right. Yep.
you know, of a chicken breast. That's it. So this whole crisis make you wonder, you know, a couple decisions they made in life.
Yeah.
Like I never had a gun. I like guns. I understand, you know, the real tool of the gun for home self, you know, home defense. But I never had it. My wife never liked it, and I wasn't really curious enough to actually buy it. But I decided Wednesday right now I'm going to the range. I'm actually having a concealed weapon course, and I'm gonna get a gun.
Well, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not saying that this is gonna happen. I'm just saying that if it's something like this happened, I have a gun with myself. You know?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just.
And it's interesting because if somebody, I mean, even 6 months ago, if somebody would have told me that out of the blue, everything would get shut down. One, as a business, we wouldn't be allowed to train or operate or the like, and that grocery stores would be out of toilet paper, I would have never believed them. I mean, never in a million years.
Yep.
We were at the store last night. They had toilet paper, but it's weird out. It's traveling through the store now. So like in the beginning, like the staples, rice was gone. Toilet paper was gone. Paper towels were gone. And they started rationing the meat. You know, you could only get a couple packages of this or that. And yeah, the meat counters are getting thinner. We were just commenting the other day how it's comical to us, but butter. When we were in the store, there was no butter on the shelf. We would, you know, it's just weird how, you know, as you're going through the store, certain things, you know, the shelves are thinning out, like you said. Gas is the cheapest it's been in forever.
Nobody's driving.
I mean,
Nobody's driving right now. Everybody's staying home, you know. But you know, and a good talking is whoever thought that this would happen?
Yeah.
Whoever thought that something like this would happen in our lifetime? You know, we have technology that man, you're in your house, I'm seeing you in your house. Dave, we're similar age. Listen, this thing about seeing yourself, you know, talking, was in the sci-fi movies.
Oh, yeah.
You remember? When
and
we were young.
Good when it was in those movies.
Yeah, we're not even that good. Look at this right now. We're really in the future for us, you know, and something that nobody ever thought. Well, yeah, you don't want to go there about black and white TV or anything like that, but at the same time, everybody shut down with the virus.
Yeah.
It's not even an Ebola virus.
Yeah.
Now,
your program at UCF looked like it was taking off pretty good. I'd seen some of the pictures of some of your open mats that were taking place. One of our students is a officer at UCF, so he would stop by periodically and just say hi. And
is that Chris?
No, Eric Lashinsky.
Eric, that's it.
And his wife Naomi, I know
Eric.
she came by a couple times too.
Yeah.
She came by, and the daughter. She is oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she's so good, that kid.
Yeah.
Oh wow, she's
Got a lot
impressive.
of potential.
A lot of potential that kid has. Whoa,
Glad
whoa.
she enjoys it. I mean, she legitimately seems to have a blast doing it.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. The whole family is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Really, I really enjoy. Eric once in a while goes there. You know, he shows up there, stay with the guys. So I have this classes. It started with one class, beginner BJJ, a real credit course, 3 credit course. And now we're going to 3. No, we're in 3 classes now, going to 4.
Nice.
Nice.
Supposed to go to 4, but
Yeah.
I don't even know how this is going to be now,
Yeah.
But we're just growing. Now we have a 3 BJJ classes and 1 level 2 BJJ class, which is more. I did some theory that I have in mind, which is the cultural will of the sport. The cultural will of the sport, and people there involved much more than just the jiu-jitsu. And you go to the music, and you go to the diet, you go to the art involved. Right. So we did a couple, projects with that. It was a tremendous success.
Nice.
I put in more technique, more approach on real technique. They're all my students from basically a year. They're training now, and they're all jumping to the level 2. So I have only 20 kids, but this 20 kids class was like skyrocket. It was something tremendous, though. It was really, really fun. I love it. And the club, when we started, Dave, we started a club with 16 students. 16 students in a BJJ club. We're now the largest club inside of UCF. 350 students.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just it skyrocketed. It was beautiful to see it, You guys have to come by and visit it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Hold on for a second, guys. I just have somebody call in here. There you go. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was good.
We get the opportunity and everything's up and running, we'd love to come by and
oh, you have to. You have to. Talk to Eric, find out why now. I don't even know when we're really actually coming back again. And now is just September or something like that,
Yeah.
That was a tremendous success, guys. There was something that, and I'm going to explain to you how this thing happened, right? I got out of American Top Team, but I was working here in Orlando on all the licenses of the American Top Team. We're actually working on the standard operational procedures for the license.
Okay.
Because at the time, we're not giving anything to the licensees. It was just a logo.
Right.
And the guys were really actually struggling to keep the doors open, because there was no systems. There was no comprehensive marketing systems, a sales system, a structure for class, and a retention plan after that. So I started working on this. I started working on a lot of content. I got a lot of content that we got to put it on books. And I said, man, I need some help. How am I going to get help from this? The university is 10 minutes where I live. I live in Avalon Park. It's really 10 minutes from my house. So I went to UCF. Actually, this was funny. I researched, look at this. This can even help other people. I researched online about martial arts in UCF. And research came up with Dr. David Fukuda. David Fukuda is a professor inside the university, and he is the head of a research center inside of UCF there for kinesiology. So I went to his Facebook, and my Facebook shows up that we have one common friend. So I called this common friend, George, and George introduced me to Fukuda. And Fukuda was a big judo jiu-jitsu guy.
Nice.
So this guy opened the doors, and I told him, man, I want to work with something here, because I knew it in a certain way that would have interest from the kids, right? It is something like this that that the kids at that age love it. They love it, jiu-jitsu. They're curious about it. They're curious about MMA, but they don't know how to start it. And in a certain way, the majority of those guys are broke. So when I went there and I started talking to the kids and started teaching the club has 6 kids. And that was an MMA club at the time. So the MMA club has average 6 kids training. There's no coach, right? There was kids teaching kids, And I got there with more structure, and we decided to open up the BJJ club. When we opened the BJJ club, it started with 16 names, and this thing just, boom, skyrocketed big time, especially because we did there at UCF, what I usually do it for my business, right? You have to have a marketing plan. There was no way that you cannot have a marketing plan. So you have a couple dates there for UCF that are very important. There was, like, for example, orientation day. Orientation day is when the new kids coming in, the freshmen come in, or people that just transferred from other universities, they come in to get this orientation. So we show them what the club is and invite them to be part of the club. And man, it was surprisingly good.
Nice.
People really wanted to be part of that. But we create also a tremendous environment because it's very important for people to come in and feel like they belong. They feel welcome.
Yeah.
You got to talk to them. You got to make them feel that they're special. That's what it is. And you got to make sure that everybody understands that this is an inclusive environment.
Right.
There was no, there's just no any prejudice in any way. You don't need to be in a high level. You don't need to have any skills. You just be part of the community, but understand the rules are to help, not to. It's not really actually competition oriented right now. We have to create a tier for that. We have to create a tier for competition. So everybody, wanted to do it. You can't compete, but it's not the main goal. The main goal is to get those kids together and create community,
Yeah.
and it's working. You guys have to go there one day.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Sure. We'll have to bring some of our guys down.
Yeah, that's a great idea, though. Let's go there and spend some time. And we did this event, too. It was a tremendous event. We did it in a park. We did a barbecue, a Brazilian barbecue at the park. We bought all this meat, and we have this big canvas on the floor, and the kids are playing games and training jiu-jitsu, and it was so cool. Very, very, very cool. So everybody went. It was really, really cool. Really cool. So things are progressing, and the whole goal is one day that every university has the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. A class.
And that was one of those when we first started, unfortunately for us, this was at the tail end of our college. But that was one of the first things that we were thinking about way back in the day. I was thinking, how amazing would it be to be able to do something of that nature at the college level? Because when I got into college, all there was we were kind of talking about this before this call. There was a self-defense class that our college offered. I was already training in martial arts, in Taekwondo and some different arts, but that was my introduction to really get Melissa to come in. It felt really nice because it was kind of like neutral ground for us. I wasn't familiar with this school. She wasn't familiar, or with that class. I wasn't familiar with it. So we were both kind of just learning at the same time. We had a blast in that class. And then I've always loved like fencing and things of that nature. And my college offered a fencing class. So I did 3 years of Western fencing, foil and saber and things of that nature because it was there. I mean, I loved it. It was it had nothing to do with my degree, but I mean, if you're interested, it was a small investment. I mean, very little when you're talking about how much the classes cost. And you got to try it out and see if it was something that you liked.
Yeah. I think the most important is like for a lot of kids, you feel like you belong to something.
Yeah.
When you talk about the fencing, and if the fencing club has the same environment that we're building up at UCF, man, we watch the fights every month. We do some events. Events for retention. You guys know this. Events for retention is one of the biggest tools that we can have.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of events. We had barbecues at my house. We had barbecues at the park. We have places that we just invite the guys and today we're going to be training at this school. Let's come over there. So it was just so much fun.
Yeah,
and I love the things.
We've done like beach trainings, and we went. One of the springs up here has some big gazebos. We rented the gazebos, brought mats, put mats under the gazebo.
Yeah.
Trained.
Yeah. We got to do one of those though. We got to get this gazebo idea.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
I'm not sure how excited the park was about it.
Because we moved all the benches out of the gazebo and then put mats all down and
Yeah.
great. We rolled.
We put a
together.
big canvas, guys. We bought this big canvas and it put the clips on the floor, you know, yeah. So to keep it on it. And we have this but really big canvas. So everybody was training. It was so cool. It was so cool to see it. Yeah, yeah, it was really cool to see it. So actually, this is what I'm doing. I have a backyard. I don't have the mats here in my house, but I have a backyard, you know, with the grass on it, and I'm bringing the kids because the university is not going to open. So I'm bringing the kids. And we're going to train at the backyard.
Nice.
There you go. It works.
Yeah, yeah, that worked with the grass. No takedowns allowed, but
Yeah.
no takedowns, but it's good.
Well, that's one of the things. As soon as this thing kind of started, I mean, we know mat sales took off. I mean, the amount of home personal mats that got sold, I mean, it's phenomenal. The amount of things of that nature. Because we were talking about when we first started, mats were hard. Finding mats anywhere, even if you were a academy looking to buy mats, there weren't many people selling them. Yep. So we used to just train on an old piece of rolled up carpet.
That's true.
That, you know, folded up in the back of the car and wherever we were at, unroll it.
That was our first training mat. Was an old
piece of
carpet. That thing progresses so much, right, guys? This technology of the mat, the flexi rolls that you can actually carry one big one. Do you remember those wrestling mats? They're called Rizolite mats. Do you remember this?
Oh,
very good.
You needed the team to move those.
A team, and you have to have carts, you know, dollies underneath it, you know. And this one you can carry yourself. This really big tank, you can carry yourself. It's pretty cool to see those guys. You know, technology evolved like this.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty awesome now.
Yeah, because those old wrestling mats, you know, we would get 10 people, you know, maybe more, and there was a special way because you had to. What we would do is we would get it up partially, and then people would bring their hands under and then lock arms, so you create a cradle with your arms. And then maybe you get it up to where you could carry it up on your shoulders and walk with it. But yeah, those things were incredibly difficult to move.
Heavy. They're very good quality.
At our at my son's high school, they invested in the wrestling program, so they had a competition mat and then they had their training mats. So the competition mat had a sling in the gym that they would just roll it onto the sling, and then it would, you know, you turn it on, it would just lift it up in the air, and that's where it would stay.
Yep.
I mean, but when they would have tournaments, I mean, get the parents, get the kids, get the team, and I mean, it would be a good day by itself, just moving all the mats over into the gym.
Yeah, yeah. But you know that those mats, the Rizolite mats, are so good. You know that they're. You buy them, you stick with them forever, guys.
Oh yeah, and most of them were double-sided. So you know, you have a training side, maybe had a bunch of small circles or whatever on it, and then roll it over, and that's your competition side. And I mean, those things will pretty much almost last you a lifetime. I mean,
yeah. So the goal. Imagine if every university has a jiu-jitsu grappling room. How amazing that will be.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. Have you gotten any? Has anybody like contact you from any other universities saying, "Hey, you know, we're
yeah. So we have this. I founded an agency because we cannot create any type of competition without having a national body organization.
Right.
I created a nonprofit organization called the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Institute, and we started doing this, but there's so much going on, guys. I have so much going on in so many different projects, and university is one of them. Because the classes of universities they want more, right? The level 2. So why you do it from here? Man, I wanted to do more. And especially because I had a lot of freshmen doing this thing about advertising inside the orientation day. It gives us a lot of freshman kids, you know? So all those kids are going to continue training. They want to do this, and they found themselves. This is really a welcome center, guys, because you know how it is. You have a lot of 18-year-old kids, and when they get out of their houses, their first encounter with, they get out of La La Land, right?
Right.
Now they're really actually doing their laundry and cooking their own meals and paying their bills and it's a lot. It's a lot to take, though. It's a lot to take. And live in university, so I see those kids coming in with with this posture and bring it up this kind of this kind of wall.
Right.
And 2 weeks later, they're the same. They're kids again.
Yeah.
It's just what we got to do is breaking through, making them understand, guys. This is your place here to be yourself. And it's working. It's working well.
Yeah.
Kids will love it. I love it. I'm proud of it.
Are you getting much crossover from like UCF's wrestling program, or I should say their wrestling club? Because that's what I understand is UCF and most of the colleges in Florida have wrestling clubs as opposed to wrestling teams.
Yeah. Well, UCF is one of the best wrestling teams.
Okay.
They competed, but not Division One. Of
Yes.
course, I think is a different top. Division Two, I think.
I think it's what do they call it? FAWA?
Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but it is a different wrestling organization, and there seems like they're national champions many times.
Yes.
Many times national champions. So they have a solid wrestling team. There is the coach that I know, JD. It's one of the best coaches, national coach for Greco, has such a high level wrestling program, and he's trained the wrestling kids in UCF. So they're for real. They're all a competition team for real.
Yeah.
I know the coach there. JD is the head coach, but I think it's CJ. If I'm not wrong, CJ is the other coach that train the kids in regular basis. And they're very competition oriented. There's a bunch of kids there. But like I said, I'm approaching this differently.
Right.
My whole life was competition, man. I competed in jiu-jitsu, grappling, MMA, judo, wrestling. I had competed all the time. So I'm familiar with training high performance guys, but the mentality is different. The approach has to be different. For me, it is I wanted to make people understand that this is a tool of mental wellness. This is a tool for well-being, and because there was a lot of guys there, I'm telling you too, you say that you guys approaching this, through the Zoom and have these talks. Usually the white belt that just really got into your school, they don't understand that. They just thinking about the physical part of it. They want to work out. I just want to have, I thought it was a good workout. They have other issues, but they don't really say it. Majority of them don't say it. And you have to kind of explain that there is so much of a benefit on the mental aspect of a training than in the physical. Well, even more.
Yeah.
Even more, especially if you know what you're doing. We have this research. This is one thing about university, guys, that I love it. We have this research for mental wellness. I got 6 majors in psychology, and I got a doctor and a lot of people get involved with this. So what they're doing right now is that they're really actually try to get the research done, step by step of research done, and jiu-jitsu and mental wellness.
Nice.
For real. And just prove that jiu-jitsu helps with anxiety, depression, and overall happiness. I'm not talking about real different types of mental wellness. I'm talking about really wellness. People that really can control it without taking the medicine. We're not really trying to think that, okay, we're now psychiatrists. No, it is, the research is a different way. Yeah. And as much as we say it, it has to be proved. And to prove it through research requires a lot, guys.
Yeah.
It's much more than I thought, at least. There's so much into it. So there is a lot of this line of, pretty soon you guys are going to be seeing a place like yours, especially a place like yours, because you have a lot of family. which is not everybody. But
Right.
you ask about wrestling, right?
Right.
You walk in a wrestling room, if it all depend of who is the mirror of the wrestling room. But we have an extremely competitive wrestling room. It's not a comfortable place.
No.
No, you have to put your way in, and
The moment you
exactly,
walk in.
you got to fight the dogs to get there. I've been there many times in many other martial arts. I have been there, you know. Now, my point is exactly the opposite. You know, I want to, because everybody, you understand that more than anybody else. But look at your wife. You know, somebody comes in, open the door, you see her there. It's easier. It's like you know what I'm saying, Dave? If you put you or your kid at the front desk there, people are afraid. People are afraid even to ask questions. I made tons of mistakes like this. I want to help my kids. When I was the head of American Top Team, I want to help my guys, right? My fighters, a guy that I think is reliable, was a nice guy who could talk. But the guy has tattoos and everything else. I do have tattoos. I'm talking about that. But you put it over there in the front desk, people are afraid to cross the line. A lot of people are, I don't know, I'll come back tomorrow. But if Melissa's on the front desk, change everything, you know?
Yeah. They get afraid just to come in, and then we've heard it referred to as, I mean, because in the beginning, man, when people came in, you felt like it was important to show them how good jiu-jitsu was by tapping them out as quickly, as often, and it chased away a lot of people. 20 years ago, that chased away a lot of people. A lot of people, some people did stay and they became really good.
Yeah.
But so not only did you have the people who didn't want to come through the door, and then the ones who did come through the door, you chased away probably 75% of them, you know, just by being too aggressive in the beginning. Because we treated it more like that wrestling room when they first came in. It was, you know, I can tell you about jiu-jitsu, but I'm going to show you how good I am. Day one, you're going to feel it. And we call it, give them your business card.
Yeah, that was giving your business card.
Hey, give it a business.
We don't do that anymore.
And we learned how wrong that was.
Yeah.
I mean, it has its place every once in a while.
It has its place. And I'll tell you this, guys. There's two observations there. One is the history of the sport, right? Jiu-jitsu cannot, in America, not be associated to UFC.
Yeah.
You have to understand that. Jiu-jitsu was associated to Royce Gracie, kicking everybody's ass there and showing that jiu-jitsu is a very important tool to be learned. You know, all the martial artists was like, whoa, man, what's happened here? Well, but I can break your nose, I can break your teeth, until they find out that they're on the floor and they get it submitted and they get tapped. And I have seen this many times, including wrestlers, high-level wrestlers, Olympic champion wrestlers, that when they started training, they're tapping. Guys, tremendous Olympic champions tapping in arm bars and chokes and things like that. I say, what's going on here? Because reality is they don't have this. They don't have this. They don't have submission in wrestling. They're tough. They are extremely well prepared physically, mentally, aggressiveness, but they don't train. They don't train submissions, you know. And when you put submissions and you're prepared physically, mentally too, that's the results I've been seeing in the beginning. Nowadays it's different because everybody's training. It's proven already. So at the same time, you can be the nicest person outside, and you can be that smiley person that really, man, welcome, be part of the family. But it's always going to be somebody who's going to test you. You just got to be prepared for it. And you go there and you just do what you got to do. Just prove it, you know?
Yeah.
It's always going to be like that, I believe, you know?
And that was one of the major things that, because in the beginning, especially in the U.S., I mean, outside the U.S., it already knew its history, it already knew its effectiveness and the like, and it was basically proving it to that new audience, that new group into the American crowd. And that first explosion, like we talked about, that wrestling room that that angst when you walk in, that tension that you feel in the room. Because in a lot of instances, it kind of felt more like when they came in that they were more fighters and more emphasis on fighting and less on being a martial artist and being development as a person. And I really like that in the modern, now that the proof is done, your group coming through did what it needed to do. It proved it in its effectiveness and the like, so that we could get rid of that tension and get rid of that angst and really start to really focus more on it as a martial art, and didn't have to worry so much about the fighting, as much anymore. If they wanted to go that route, they certainly could. But now, because that's been proven, because how much more does it need to prove? It's already done.
No, I don't.
Now
I
we
don't
get to
think,
really develop the people.
you know what I think it happened a lot? I think it happened, David. I think MMA got all the bad. Everybody understand how important it is to train the ground. Everybody understand that. And it's not even a question anymore. It's not a question anymore. You have the old day guys that, no, but believe me, you have to know. It's impossible for you to be an MMA fighter or even a complete fighter. Complete.
Right.
All right? You have to learn the ground. You have to learn the striking, as you have to learn the takedowns.
Yeah.
For you to be complete, and I come with this version also, oh man, it's jiu-jitsu, but no, it is nowadays, especially MMA is better than anything else in terms of the efficiency. Of course. And even with that, don't forget this, people people still come with the guns, and from the guns go to the rifles go to the, and it just always just pumps up, and until they go to nuclear bomb. And how you stop this? So in terms of safety at home, is the better. It's just impossible. But everybody has to recognize that. And there is another thing too, that it did not happen everywhere, David. Look at this. Every corner of the world, there is a striking background. There is a takedown. But the floor, the part on the ground, it's not every place in every country that has it. It is not. In jiu-jitsu, it is the most efficient one because it's concentrated a lot on it. You have sambo, you have the part of newaza of judo, but really, it's jiu-jitsu is the most complete on the ground. I have no doubt about that. It's just too much time just doing this. So it proves its efficiency, and I think you still have time for more competition. You're always going to have that time for what the wrestlers are, competition, tough. You have space for that, but there is a space for the mental wellness, the recreational, the spiritual, right? That you go there
that's
and you.
The side I think that jiu-jitsu is actually experiencing its biggest growth in right now.
Yeah,
is the focus on that mental, because it's a repeat thing that we hear from almost, we've felt that way for a long time. We hear it from other people, and now actually we even hear it from our own white belts, people brand new, that their experience in such a short time, that they're understanding how much, like those who came in with anxiety, those who came in, even with some of our military, our veterans coming in with some PTSD, of how much, and their exposure to jiu-jitsu right now has been relatively short in when you look at how much of a time period people are really going to train, and some of them, they're only 3 months in, 4 months in, and they're already telling us about the benefits that they're experiencing, from just being able to handle those stresses. And so I think that definitely is the biggest modern growth in jiu-jitsu.
David, and also it's because of you guys. Believe me what I'm saying. It's because you bring this vibe inside your environment. You built up the environment like people feel comfortable even to tell you this. Because it's not every place that you feel that way. Everybody has like you go in a wrestling room, a certain wrestling rooms that you have to, like I say, kill a lion a day. And it is a type of environment that there's a lot of people that will fit in and they feel like very comfortable in being a part of that, you know?
Right.
But if you build an environment that everyone feel comfortable getting in, it's almost like a family.
Yeah.
And it has to have those values. It has to be a very comprehensive, mentality to pass it on this. And people feel like, man, this is the place that I feel like I belong. And that's the goal. I think the goal is to spread this thing to more people.
Right.
This will help a lot of people, man. It will help a lot of people, Definitely. There's more people fighting anxiety, fighting depression, fighting PTSD, fighting all those, things that's controllable if you actually fall into a better place in life, mentally.
Right.
And we just got to build up more of that. And I think, too, there's one thing, Dave. We have to get this in writing. You have to create this format and make people understand that you cannot just create an environment and just think about competition and treat people like the best stays. If you want to help everybody, it can't be this. The guideline should not be this way, because there's different type of leaderships, but there was a goal. And this is what I'm trying to do now also, is just try to create the guidelines to replicate what we have at UCF that's being very successful in places like yours to other universities, That's definitely going to help a lot of people, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be incredible. And we, definitely, like we said, it's one of those where as soon as we get the opportunity, when the school gets back in session, things of that nature, I mean, we would love to help be a part of the program any way we can. We're certainly going to want to get over there to meet, to be able to get back in person with you rather than doing these things over the over the computer system.
For sure. I can't wait also, guys. Let's come over, let's train, let's do something together,
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
How's your boy? How's your son?
And,
Oh, sorry.
Good.
Go ahead.
Good. He's training, trying to get back. Obviously getting fights right now is a little tough, but he's back to training, trying to get ready.
Just got his black belt, unfortunately, during the middle of the corona.
Yeah, he had to get it.
The COVID thing.
So Caesar did a video and posted it on Facebook to give him his black belt.
Oh man, I want to see.
Unfortunately, so Caesar contacted me. This would have been November, and said, Dave, it's time. Let's schedule. I'd like to have one of my black belts that lives with me. I'd like to have him come out and promote Christian. And we talked to Caesar and said, Caesar, we've been directly with you, directly and indirectly through our instructor Eric Shingu, and said, it would really mean the world to us if you could be the one to physically put the belt on Christian. So at that time, he's like, hey, absolutely. He goes, unfortunately, here's my schedule. March is going to be the earliest. He said, no issues. Let's schedule that.
So we had a huge thing planned. Seminar with Caesar, 5-year anniversary celebration, Christian's promotion. We were going to have people coming from all over Florida.
And then this all happened.
We had to cancel.
But, we had conversations with Caesar, and he goes, we can't wait. He goes, we've already waited so long. He goes, again, we were going to do this back in November. Now it's March. We don't know what this thing is going to look like. He goes, it's not the way we want it to be. He goes, but let's go ahead. He goes, I'll put a video out there telling people that, it's more than due. We'll get him promoted. He goes, and then when this whole thing is over, then let's maybe try to get back together and at least have the celebration, for his accomplishment. So
try to bring.
He had the most lackluster. He had the most lackluster. We got a small group of people that were willing to train to come in. We had a great day. Put the belt on Christian at the end, and
It's gonna be okay.
It was pretty awesome, you know. Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
forget
Getting
this.
to be able to put a black belt on my son was pretty awesome.
All this is going to be, and at one point, there great stories to tell, right? Everybody's going to be telling stories during the coronavirus crisis. You know, oh my black
Right, yeah.
belt, oh I got it. Yeah, I was in a situation my father put in. Caesar is going to come. All this is going to be a great story later. You know, later will be a great story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but try to bring him in. That would be awesome. To
Oh
have
yeah,
Caesar,
yeah, he'd have
right?
fun.
Oh man.
Well, he knows, like, he knows a lot of the kids from UCF. 'Cause actually, for a time period there, Christian was wrestling with some of the kids from the UCF wrestling program. Because Christian wrestled for the high school. He still is a high school coach or assistant coach for the DeLand wrestling team. So we actually, with our academy here, we still try to stay fairly connected to the wrestling community, both with University, Deltona, DeLand. So in the off season, through Christian, we open up our floor for some of the wrestlers to come in and get some training outside of their program during the off season. Because there was a time period here, because we're literally maybe a mile down the road from University High School, and they didn't have a dedicated wrestling room. Some of the programs do, but University didn't. And over summer, the campus was closed and locked down. So it was one of those where, you know, through Christian, they talked to him, and so we said, hey, you know, we would love to whatever you guys want to call it, you know, just come, you know, use our facility, have some practices. You know, we're like, the only thing we would just say is, we treat our equipment well. You know, so just, you know, treat it nice. And then what happened is some of the other wrestlers started coming in. So it kind of became a big open mat, but for wrestlers, you know, we'd have sometimes 5 different wrestling, you know, teams represented on the floor at one time, all trained together, all having a blast.
That's
so
cool.
And that's been really cool. That's one of the parts that, you know, I think Christian as a martial artist has really brought into some of the wrestling circles. Is kind of the same camaraderie, saying, look, you know, we can be more than just opponents, you know, of each other, you know.
Yeah, and guys, listen, this come back again in culture, right? It is culture.
Oh yeah.
It is culture. Martial arts culture, traditional martial arts itself is different than combat sports. And some combat sports has a different mentality on it. You know, you be part of this, you gotta be this way or that way, which is, come on, guys, gotta grow out of this because it's not the way it works. You know, to see
I put a post out, I'm trying to think, it was a while ago, where I basically just made the comment saying, not every fighter is a martial artist, and not every martial artist is a fighter. There is a difference between the two. There's a lot of fighters out there that are definitively not martial artists.
Yep.
And there's a lot of martial artists out there that have no interest in fighting.
Yep.
Actually, the vast majority of martial artists have no interest in fighting. They train in the art of fighting, but they have no interest in it. They're actually the other way around. They're almost more of a pacifist than they are. The idea of deliberately hurting somebody else, even though they are incredibly skilled individuals at that art, the idea and the concept of physically hurting another person deliberately, it's not them. It pains them to even have that concept.
I agree 100%. I love that line, actually, by the way. I love it, David. I'm going to steal it. No, it was really good. That was a very good line. It's not every martial artist is a fighter. It's not every fighter is a martial artist. 100% right.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like there's so much more.
And they all have the ability to be. Every fighter has the ability to be a martial artist. Every martial artist has the ability to be a fighter. It's the rare few that are both. You know, there's a few out there that definitely are in both of those realms, world-class combat athletes and martial artists at the same time. Unfortunately, yeah, we see it in sports. It's at times there's the rise of the fighters. I kind of think right now, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that MMA has kind of come over that, and I'm hoping that they're going to come back to the era of martial artists again. We're seeing a little bit more respect starting to come into the sport, but it's cyclical. It comes and goes. It unfortunately they're chasing the payday for a lot of them, which is unfortunate. But
Dave, it's an equation there. There's almost like a science behind this.
yeah,
You know, and look, WWE and boxing has a big blueprint about how to bring, what do they call, how do they call asses in seats?
yep.
Asses in seats. And how that happened is to conflict. They can get somebody here and there, like Randy Couture, once in a while, that it sees like a Captain American, a guy who has all the values, who has the courage, who has the mindset and the common sense, and is a great role model. But at this era right now, like you say, cyclic, but at the same time, this era is proved that talking trash makes them money, and they're all chasing the same window of opportunity. Yeah. And I'm telling you this, I understand. I do understand. I don't agree with it. I can't do it. I could never do it. It's not me. I could never do it. Even if I try, I could never be like that. There's people there. There are intelligent enough and quick thinking enough and smart, sassy, and humorous. There's a lot of humor on it.
Yes.
A lot of people that can talk and be funny, being a trash talker. But it's not everybody. And there's a lot of guys that are really being mean. They have hate in it. And they're not, and they cannot translate. They try to follow the blueprint, but that blueprint is not for them because they cannot. What they have is hate in it. So what are they saying if you started talking? People can feel it, that they really mean to be mean, to be hateful. And that's terrible. That's really terrible. It's so far away from who we are. People are talking about somebody else's mother, somebody else's, religion and country and things like that. So anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we definitely appreciate you talking with us. It's one of those, I still work my day job. I'm technically on my lunch break right now.
Oh, my.
We definitely have to get together.
Yes.
In person. I mean, this phone stuff is awesome, but like we said, the getting together, the camaraderie, definitely once everything gets going, need to get out there to UCF. Yep. I think it's incredible what you're building out there. The foundation, another foundation that you're laying and building and creating, and I'm really hoping to see this thing grow and take off. Like I said, anything we can do to help, we'll certainly, give you everything that we've got. We're more than excited with everything that's going on. So definitely thank you again. And
guys, don't even start it. You know that I'll be always be here around if you need me. I know that I can count on you guys. Absolutely. If I need you, you guys is exactly what we needed to put out there. In a great family environment, backed up with a real technique, we're back up with this, with this amazing space and a lifetime and investment on the martial arts. We need it. We need more of you. It's just thing is we have to put this word out there to more people get, really inspired by what you guys are doing too. We have so much synergy and so many things that, yes, and sir. You too, Melissa. You guys are awesome.
Awesome.
You know
Thanks,
that.
Sir.
So you can count on me for anything. You know that. All right?
Let's get you back on the show sometime too.
I will. I'm sorry about that, guys. Listen.
No issues at all.
No, it was fine. We're just glad we got to talk to you today.
Yeah. And you know that I was here. I was here in the office just waiting for you guys. You know, it was time. It was a time constraint on it.
Yeah,
Guys, God bless you all. Good, be safe. Once we come back from all these things here, I really have to have you guys coming back to visit. Okay,
Yeah,
sure, absolutely.
We'll bring the crew
Hey,
down.
say hi to Chris. Okay.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.